Monaco Pizza presents STP. The Steve Dangle Podcast with your hosts, Steve Dangle and Adam Wild.
April the 6th.
April the 6th.
When we actually get into this show, Steve's gonna start it, but I just want to tell you that April the 6th, mark it on your calendar, all three of us, Crown Royal at Real Sports.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Our good friends of Crown
That's
Royal
cool.
have decided to join us as partners, and the three of us will be there, hanging, schmoozing, and watching the Leafs and Habs. And I believe this is the last Saturday before the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken.
That makes sense.
Wouldn't it be, or is it the next weekend?
No, I think it's that one.
Regardless, it's coming
Yeah.
up very, very soon, and it's going to be a fine event. So just mark it on your calendar. We'll have details in upcoming episodes on how you can be a part of it.
Can people just show up?
I don't know.
I
Just
feel like
give me,
that's dangerous.
Stop asking questions, Jesse.
I feel like
this is what I have for you right
Pay no
now.
attention to the man behind the curtain.
if we tell people we're going to be at Real Sports and like there's a ticketing thing, but then people don't get tickets.
Maybe I'll tell them in upcoming episodes.
I
when those
feel like
details
people are
released.
just going to show
What if
up.
we're so popular there's a damn stampede because of the Steve Dangle podcast and Crown Royale?
Local Navy destroys Real Sports Cafe.
April 6th, by the way, is the last game of the season for the
Oh
Leafs.
man! So I guess we're hanging out for Game 82. everybody.
Game 82.
And that would be Bob Cole's final game
wow.
of his career.
Unless
Unless what?
playoffs.
No, he's not doing the playoffs.
Playoffs? Why not?
He didn't do the
He
playoffs
didn't do them last
either.
year.
Aw.
I know, it's an outrage.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, fine then.
Well, on that note,
If
thanks, Jesse. Thanks, Iceberg.
if the
Way to
Leafs,
bring the show to a screeching halt there. Sorry.
if the Leafs make the Stanley Cup final, when the Leafs make the Stanley Cup final,
Yes,
do
indeed.
they bring in Bob Cole to call?
No.
Oh, baby. Okay. Some billionaire needs to fund that. Someone needs to just be like, I want to pay to have a Bob Cole simulcast. That somehow Sportsnet won't be mad
hey,
with.
you know what we could do? We could always contact Bob and just have him watch the game at our house on a live stream.
Cool, you trying to get me fired?
don't
Also,
know.
that's an amazing idea.
Like, he could just be
Not
at our
our
house
house.
talking about the hockey game.
oh, and just listening to him tell stories. Let me tell you about 1973. Like, I just want to. Oh my God.
Not our house. The Blue Room.
Whoa.
Bob Cole in the Blue Room
so we
watching Game 6 of the Stanley Cup final.
Would he let me call him Rob? I don't know.
Why?
I don't know. Bobbert.
His name's
You know how there's like 1,000 variations of
Boberto.
Bob? Boberto? Hey, Baba Bucci. Imagine if he's like, I'm half Italian. We just never knew.
Cole is actually Cole.
Cole, Adam. Cole. You pull that one out of your colon. You see what I did? That's your butt.
That was pretty good.
I thought so. I'm clever. The coffee's good. I had some bad tweets.
You had a night last night, huh? What happened?
I was salty.
Now,
I was upset.
let's go over yesterday. Yesterday was a bit stressful. You went to the Cairo.
Yeah.
Went to the Cairo at 9. We had to cancel yesterday's show because of another person needed the studio, and we get that. It happens.
Another person,
Mariana's Trench.
Mariana's Trench.
Yeah. And,
Trench.
okay, fine. That's cool.
Yeah. Last. I don't even remember how many days ago it was, but I slipped and fell at the dog park, and I was on the ground before I knew I was falling. And I honestly feel like I've been in a car accident. As someone who has been in a car accident, let me tell you, I feel like I've been in a car accident. And then yesterday, trying to get in the car to go to Cairo, I friggin' fell again on the other side. And so I'm just like, fix me when I get there. And I got to tell you, I feel great. Except for, like, there's, I don't know, you can't fix it all.
A little bit of bruising in there, maybe?
Like, I feel the symptoms of text neck.
Oh, really?
You know when you look, oh yeah, so it's forcing me to
You
have
would
good
have
posture.
text neck,
Of
wouldn't
course I would. Yeah, no, it's something I'm really working on though.
Yeah, no, so I sort of read them as I woke up this morning at 4 a.m. and I was outraged. How can Auston Matthews only get 16 minutes of ice time? Outraged.
No, Adam, here. You want me to
Please
read
go
it?
through and read your tweets from last night.
As I was reading my tweets today in the video, I was like, oh, this is what doing the audiobook was like. Me doing an impression of me. Matthews playing 16 minutes and 52 seconds in a game where Kadri got hurt early is inexcusable. Give me strength with this stubborn coach, man. And then someone said, Tavares played 1849. Why isn't anyone complaining about this as well? Because it's at least somewhere in the realm of sane. How neither of them managed to crack 19 minutes is asinine. Just terrible. He's just so bad. And then someone said, did today happen to be a... Nope, that's a different tweet. Unrelated. No, he's not. They get a modest 2 power plays, and they're both over 19 minutes. Relax. And I said, they're allowed to play 5-on-5, I think. Let me consult the rule book to be sure. Which is polite, I think. This is the way I said it. It was very polite. And then I said, this is why I do morning after LFRs. Have a good night and play your stars! I was salty. Now... Last night, I got home from ice surfing, and that was late. And this morning, I knew I had to get up early to make a video.
And to be late for the podcast. But go ahead.
And to be late for the podcast, because I missed the train, for sure.
You get up early to be late.
Yep. Takes a while to make a video. You got something else to say there, Jesse?
Is Steve a little defensive?
A little bit!
So, okay. Now,
no, and rather than... Naturally, I went to bed early. And by went to bed early, I mean... I stayed up reading and then writing Twitter. Not smart.
Not smart. Go to bed. Especially after ice surfing. You know, I find too, like after a show, and you've had, And
I had a great time at the show.
Of course you did.
I had a great night.
Here's the thing,
it was a good show.
After a show, you need time.
Rogers, am I right? Sorry. I tried. Everyone.
You need time to, and I don't think people understand this, unless you are in a job that you need to be on. Like, there's a lot of jobs you go and you do, but unless you have to be on, it's pretty hard to relate to performing for a job. If you're somebody who's a police officer, you need to be on. If you're a firefighter, you're off until you're on.
Yeah,
if you're working as a paramedic, you're on.
You got to be on intermittently.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And anybody that does a job like that will tell you that there's a crash afterwards. And what can happen in that crash is you can spiral and become a little bit negative. Especially late at night.
And I was without the supervision of an adult because my wife was already asleep.
Bingo.
So
nobody to say no.
It was a disaster waiting to happen.
Nothing
and sure
good
enough, it did.
Happens on Twitter after midnight.
Wow.
So what do you regret about these tweets?
They're just a little extra.
So
They're a little much.
Where would you put yourself this morning? Because you did your 17-minute video. Your videos are almost becoming as long as the periods.
They're too damn long. Like, I didn't start talking about the game, like, individually. Here's what happened in the first period until the 7-minute mark.
You're basically doing another podcast if they have, like, 4 games in a week.
If I keep going just a few more minutes, I'll have a half hour of television. I could just do a 22-minute show
is half an
of
hour.
jump cuts, and it doesn't take that long to make.
Yeah.
Like, how long until Sportsnet The Ocho just starts picking up LFR
And imagine you
videos?
didn't do the jump cuts. It was just the talking.
No, I'd peter out. It'd be awful.
No, but it'd be like 40 minutes.
Oh, yeah. I know. Oh, it's nuts. And I cut stuff out.
Which is
I
like
was
an
like,
hour-long
that
show.
doesn't make sense anymore.
You're recording an hour-long television show.
Yeah, you need 44 minutes to do an hour.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Oh, man. That's amazing.
It's, yeah, no, however long the video is, I usually have about twice as much footage. Roughly. So, yeah, you're not far.
Do you feel like this is a good idea?
No.
Okay.
What, like my career in general? Of course not.
No, recording an hour-long televition show every couple of nights.
I don't know.
It's funny.
I wonder why it was late, Jesse. I had too much to say. I should have made it shorter, but I don't know how to do it anymore. I've forgotten.
Whenever we used to do a podcast after a game, which is always better to do, by the way, because they're not. For us, we try to at least manage our podcast schedule so that we're not doing a podcast when there's a game that night. Sometimes it can't be helped.
It's hard.
However, it's been funny over the last couple of years. Something that's developed with Steve is that he's like, man, well, I got to do the video that morning. I'm not sure when I can make it that afternoon to do the podcast. And for Jesse and I, it's like, well, yeah, you got to do the video that morning. But what I realize now in listening to that is your videos are like double the length they were even 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't know why. Like, I'm happy when they're under 15 minutes these days. I don't know why. I just have more to say.
And I'm not criticizing the length, because I watched the whole thing in an Uber today.
Yeah, you did.
With my AirPods, because I own those now.
Because you're a jerk.
You're jealous. Anyway, no, I was watching it in the Uber, and not a single part of it didn't fit. It was like it all worked great. It was just one of those things.
I'm really good.
You're pretty good at it.
No, you've gotten better at it, so you can do it for longer.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Like, you used to do 5-minute videos, and they were great 5 minutes.
So,
and then you got good at 5.
He did one 30-second video after a Leafs loss once, and he was like, "These guys are crap.
This is bullshit.
What are your original videos?" Like season 1. This is crap.
And I talk for 17 minutes. I basically do a half hour of television.
Yeah.
What am I doing tweeting?
I don't
Why
know.
am I tweeting my thoughts about the game? I'm about to do a Broadway production with jump cuts. Like,
Why do you need a tweet at all?
I don't know. And it's reactionary, and my brain is tapioca pudding, and it's all half formed because I need to go to bed. I don't know. I'm stupid. I shouldn't have done it. I live in constant regret.
So is Mike Babcock stubborn or not?
Oh, for sure. But like, okay, listen. Matthews, I don't give a shit what the scenario is. That, you know, the Leafs didn't get a single power play, which we can talk about. He needs to play more than 17 minutes. And frankly, it's up to Mike Babcock to figure out how to do that. William Nylander, the way he was playing last night, has to play more than 15 minutes. He just has to. He was the best player on the ice. And a lot of people are resistant to that because he's permanently bad now. It's just not the truth. He's
great.
so good. He's back. It took too long, but he's back. So I was just mad with how he managed the bench last night, especially after Kadri got hurt. Like, even in a game where Kadri played the whole thing, I'd look at Matthews' minutes and go 17. That's it. And it's so consistently that. It was just very frustrating.
Do you think Matthews has earned to play more than 17 minutes?
Yes! He's been a unit recently. He's been so good.
You are such a shithead. Listen to this guy.
Well, he doesn't back check, Jesse.
Maybe when they get to the playoffs,
Oh, my God.
we'll see his minutes spike a little. Maybe he'll get to 18.
Auston Matthews, not a complete player, so you know what the Leafs need to do is claim Devontae Smith-Pelly off waivers, which is loosely what I saw today. And I'm like, can't Matthews be good and I want to claim Smith-Pelly off waivers?
Do you want to claim Smith-Pelly? No, you don't.
Yeah, why do we want
I do, because, okay, all the evidence suggests he is a negative possession player. He's not good. However, there's still the dumb caveman brain in me that's like, big man score playoff goal. And he scored 7 last year, and he's big.
Did you really have 7 playoff goals?
Yeah, I did. He's at least in the finals,
He had
man.
7 playoff goals, and I want to say he scored in 3 or 4 straight games in the final. He was a monster. He was really good. And the dumb caveman part of me is like, he's big and he scored playoff goal and playoff different. The one thing, never mind. Shouldn't have tweeted. I overreacted a little bit, but I do not take it all the way back. Does that make sense?
What parts do you take back? Because
I don't that it's a crisis that Matthews played less than 17 minutes.
Thank you.
He should have played more.
Yes,
Should have played more.
but it's not a crisis.
It's not a crisis.
Everything is fine still.
No. I was more bothered by that than I was by Hainsey playing the second most among D, I think it was. Because like Dermott got hurt for a period.
And then they had
and Riley got
three penalty kills.
Yeah, so like it made sense. And like I'd be upset if Muzzin was playing like 15.
What we
or
need to
something
do,
like that.
what we need to start doing, like we do with goals scored and that sort, and chances and that sort of thing.
Never tweeting ever.
Well, that, but also like I don't care about ice time. I care about 5-on-5 ice time.
Yeah, it's
And we
a
need,
better indicator.
That's what we need to start posting. Stop posting the ice time. I don't give a shit.
Well, and then
give me the 5-on-5 ice time.
Matthews was 3rd.
In 5-on-5 ice time?
Yeah.
Matthews should be 2nd or 1st.
Yes. Literally Marner sometimes.
He's a center. He should be 2nd or 1st.
You're probably right. It should be him and Tavares.
Like 1A, 1B. Night to night, one of them should be 20 seconds above the other.
Yeah, which I mean is splitting hairs. Well, and then I look at ice time and, you know, when a guy, so-and-so's ranked 8th. And I go, what? But it's by a margin of like 18 seconds. And I'm like, okay, am I really...
Now,
that could be like an accidental... That could be factors beyond the coach's control.
to be fair, to be totally fair here to you, I think there was, if Matthews is, 3rd and 5-on-5 ice time, fine. You still have a game where Kadri's out in the first 5 minutes with a concussion, and hopefully he's okay. You hope he's okay.
I think he'll be,
But then
I'm not a doctor, I shouldn't say
that leaves
anything.
you with 3 centers. Okay, you've got Tavares, you've got Matthews, and who's the third guy?
Goat, I guess.
So how many minutes did Goat play? Did he play the rest of the other 20 minutes that we're 25 minutes?
I saw a Frankenline of, it was Lindholm, Nylander, and I'm not sure who the other winger was. I imagine Johnson?
So Lindholm moved up to play center.
Yeah, which, whatever.
Yeah,
it's fine. I mean, I would have liked to see a little bit more juggling than that.
So one of the big problems with the time on ice is that for the third period, Matthews didn't touch the ice until 15 minutes in.
Were they shorthanded?
No.
No, you mean 5 minutes in.
Sorry, 5 minutes. Well,
the 15-minute mark. Yeah,
15-minute mark of the third.
I mean, they would have, for that to make sense, for that to make sense, there would have had to have been a penalty for 5 minutes. Like, you know what I mean?
Wait a second. How is that possible? They didn't take a shift for the first 5 minutes.
I have the shift chart here. It says Matthews' first shift came at 44:13.
Now, is that 44:13?
44:13.
So 4 and a bit minutes in.
Yeah. So 4 and a bit. So like 15.
So
yeah.
He's not used enough.
Yeah.
He's not used enough. And it might not be by a margin large enough for me to yell and scream about it, but he's not using it.
Can we check the box score to see if there was a penalty? Because if you start the game and there's a minute and Tavares and Marner on and then 2 more minutes and then you put another line out there, I can understand how that's possible, but even so, calm the fuck on.
Yeah. That was the major, and he like ended the second on the bench for like a couple of minutes. So then the extent of his actual ice time in terms of game time is like a sit for like 7 minutes.
And I think he had like the same amount of shifts as Marner or something like that. I was rude to heart of. I felt bad about that. I don't know. I was salty last night, but the fact does remain in general. And maybe this game isn't even necessarily the best example of it, but in general, this coach doesn't use this player enough. He doesn't use... Matthews is going to make $11.5 million next year. Play him.
Well, if he makes 15% of the cap or whatever it's going to be?
Yeah, well, and like the whole... there was an argument, well, the Leafs have depth. Yes, they do. Last night they did not, was the whole point of what I was saying. Yes, you're able to roll Tavares, Kadri, Matthews. It's relentless and teams can't keep up with it. But when one of them goes down early... You know what the plan is. Like, Babcock hates using his fourth line in the road. Like, just have the fourth line be the fourth line. Here's another reason why I really like the idea of claiming Smith-Pelly. I don't give a shit about the fourth line. I just don't. I've stopped. Babcock uses it sparingly enough that I'd almost be okay with them getting a goon. Like, because everyone wants toughness and grit. Well, okay, he doesn't use it anyway, so why not? Why not?
I think that's going backwards.
Yes, it is going backwards, but I'm at the point where this coach is driving me nuts.
We already survived Matt Martin.
I know. I know.
To answer your question, Adam, there was a penalty at 1 minute and 20 seconds into the third.
So let's say Tavares and Marner start.
Yeah.
Now I can see how Matthews wouldn't have gone on until then.
Really?
Yeah, but then have him play the next shift.
He should have been the next shift, and that was the wrong call.
I don't know.
Should have been 3 minutes something. But still... I can see how it's possible, is all I'm saying. I don't agree with it.
We're splitting hairs, I think. He scored the game-tying goal. Freddie was spectacular in this game. The Leafs should have friggin' been down 7-0 after the first. He was so good. And also, like, I wanted to make sure to give props in the video to the St. Louis Blues. They have won 11 straight games.
Wow, do they look great.
11 straight games.
And I'm buying what they're selling, unlike Buffalo.
Yes. Well, I can think of another team they remind me of a little bit that shouldn't have made the playoffs. And they just had this little goalie drag their team into the playoffs, and sure enough, they won a few rounds, and they ended up winning the Memorial Cup. And that team was the Owen Sound Attack, and that goalie was Jordan Binnington. And I saw it with my own eyes. And here he is in the show. Took him a while, but he's, I want to say, 13-1-1.
He's been around.
Unbelievable. It's amazing how long it takes a goalie. I was talking to a Red Wings fan last night, and I know this is an unpopular opinion, but here it goes. Keep Jimmy Howard. Trade anyone else, but keep Jimmy Howard. It's hard to find goalies nowadays. The market changed overnight. And you could draft someone, and like Thatcher Demko is one of the best goaltending prospects out there, and he's not going to be the Canucks starter till like year 4 or 5 of his pro career. It takes a long time.
Jimmy Howard's also 34.
I know. Well, don't sign him to 8 friggin' years. I'm not saying that, but if you sign him to 3, that is if the money's right.
37-year-old Jimmy Howard's going to be worth it.
No.
Okay.
But 35 and 36-year-old might.
All right.
To bridge.
I mean, the option, or just go in naked. Just go in completely naked and don't have a goalie.
Be the Philadelphia
Flyers.
This is per Pierre LeBrun.
Yeah. Oh, there's sort of ongoing news.
Yeah, I'm going to be jumping in
on.
with stuff, and then we'll jump back to our topics. I do want to talk about the Leafs because there's lots to talk about.
Yeah, the Caps are working on a trade, but they won't be able to get it done till tomorrow. Apparently,
this is the Ducks.
Okay.
Silverberg and the Ducks have come to an agreement on an extension, which I still can't understand. They can't make it official because guess what? The Ducks don't have any space.
That's unbelievable.
But Silverberg is off the trade market. Now, he's a guy you might want to keep, but there's the guy that gets you some of the assets that you need to recoup and gives you cap flexibility. And here the honestly, you have to save GMs from themselves.
You had the opportunity to fire him and you didn't do it. You made him coach. You shouldn't have had one job and you gave him 2. You're okay. Enjoy. Enjoy.
It's crazy. It's insane. I don't know how they're going to dig. Honestly.
Also, you're Silverberg. Isn't he going to be an unrestricted free agent? Dude, you can go anywhere. How awesome is Anaheim? Man, that weather. It's like you go. How do people keep signing with the Panthers? Well, the sun. Apparently, people like it. Oh my God. No, that's not smart. I don't think. And it's a winger. It's a perfect candidate of a player you can trade for a buttload of stuff, like you just said. And also you can replace him at the same time.
Or re-sign him in the summer.
Which Ottawa might do with Matt Duchene. Which might be part of the reason he's cooperating so much and he's not going to play the next few games. Although he is skating in Newark today at practice, apparently. I was reading. Sorry. Dashing between topics here. There's a lot going on. There's a lot happening.
Okay, so let's go into the Leafs here. When are we going to... Have you ever heard the maxim that the best way to predict the future is to look at the past?
Of course.
That people...
I think my grandfather, Adam Wilde, told me that.
People tend not to change, right? So if a person treats you poorly, they cheat on you, for instance.
Wow.
Let's say a person cheats.
Oof, he went right to the core.
He went right
there.
It was 0 to 100 real quick.
You would say that
real quick.
The chances of them cheating on you again, even if they come back to you begging, pleading, hoping, praying, the chances that they do it to you again are pretty high.
Is this a topic on your show? Or?
No, I wouldn't go this deep.
Okay.
Because it's the morning and you want to make people happy.
Yeah. Adam is light and fluffy in the mornings.
You ever had your heart broken by some bastard?
So
Virgin Radio.
I want everybody to take a good hard look at our collective boyfriend, Kyle Dubas.
Okay.
Oh.
Our collective boyfriend, Kyle Dubas. What have we seen? Let's talk about any move that you can remember Kyle Dubas making since Kyle Dubas was made the general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Okay, he loves big, slow goons.
What's he done? Let's talk about. Let's name names.
Okay. 1, failed to sign Nylander.
Whoa.
2, nothing else matters.
Whoa! World star! Oh shit! 6 buzz. Let me see. Did sign Nylander. Did sign Tavares. Traded Matt Martin for Eamon McAdam. Let Leo Komarov walk. Let Tyler Bozak walk. Let JVR walk. Josh Levo for Michael Carcone. Never really did get an answer on that. Didn't he do another trade recently?
Who's that?
Oh, Jesus, Jake Muzzin. He got Jake Muzzin.
Yeah.
So if he gets a big guy, he gets a big guy who can play. And he tends to trade out the slower guys, the more brutish guys, if you will. The Leafs have no toughness anymore.
That's right.
No toughness.
He got rid of that bum, Connor Carrick.
Sure did. Yeah. Hey, how dare you?
No Polak re-sign, no Matt Martin,
Nope.
all of these things. So why is it that everybody is so quick to believe this report that the Leafs have somehow been linked to Adam McQuaid.
Adam McQuaid.
Here's the best part that I love about this is it comes from one person.
Yeah.
And then the media in both markets where like the Leafs market and the Rangers market pick it up and go, yeah, it's been linked to the Leafs.
And a bunch of retired tough guys say the Leafs need a tough guy. They need a player who reminds me of me. No, there's nothing in Dubas' history that suggests he would go for a move like that. There's nothing wrong with getting a big, tough meanie.
No.
Jake Muzzin's supposed to be a big, tough meanie. But they got to be able to play. And, like, listen, if I were to walk down an alley, I'd be cool having Adam McQuaid on my side. And, like, I'm sure if he was a Leaf, I'd like him. But he's just not that player.
No.
He's not that player at all.
And all I keep hearing is, well, he's a really good guy.
Also, like, well, and so what? And, like, a lot of you would be really bad at negotiating. Because remember, we started, the Leafs are going to get Parayko and Pietrangelo. All right, well, how about Gudas? And now we're all the way, okay, how about McQuaid? Guys, like, stick to your guy. Also, a stupid thought that I was thinking of today, Gudas might be dirt cheap on account of he might not play till March.
Considering the two-handed slash to the head?
The third one this year.
Dude.
The third one this year, people love slashing fellow hockey players in the head.
It's insane. That's insane. That's bad. It's a bad look.
If Radko Gudas had been on the ice, that would have never happened. Do you see?
Yeah,
Do you see,
exactly.
folks? Yeah. The problem, yeah.
This is the issue, is that if you look at the past predictors, and that's what they are, they're predictors, you know that Adam McQuaid is not going to be a Leaf as long as Kyle Dubas is the general manager. There's just no way.
I mean, if there's a trade that makes sense, for sure. But I don't see it.
Does he make sense?
Yeah, I don't see it. Also,
who is he better than?
A terrifying thought that I can't remember who it was on Twitter proposed. Dubas, let's say he adds a defenseman. No defenseman goes out. Who comes out of the lineup?
That's what I mean.
Dermott.
Oh, no. No.
Who plays the least? Dermott.
If the Leafs add a defenseman, Zaitsev's going the other way.
Has to.
Because
I'll take McQuaid if we get rid of Zaitsev.
Because Daddy
No.
Dubas.
I will get a McQuaid jersey if Zaitsev goes the other way.
Is McQuaid expiring?
No, is he?
Even if it's,
He might be.
Who cares?
Yeah. No,
My answer to that is I don't care.
Yes, what? No, thank you. You just signed the cut. You know how messy Dubas' signature is going to be on those trade papers?
Oh my god.
It's just so fast.
Yeah.
I would do Adam McQuaid for Zaitsev straight up because he is expiring.
There it is.
Now, I wouldn't normally do this, but I have just received an urgent message, and I need it, and I have to take a phone call. We can do one of two things. We can pause, or you guys can just keep going, and then I'll come back.
How long is your phone call?
I don't know.
No.
I think you should keep going.
Mike Stevens.
Yeah. Shitty.
What happened there?
Unfollow him immediately.
What happened there? Fill me in.
Okay, so he covers the Marlies for a living. We've had him on the show before. We had him on the Tavares Signed
Yes.
podcast.
Yes.
The longest ever and also most listened to.
So what did he say yesterday?
So he threw something out there that was valid, but I don't know about necessary just yet. So Pierre Engvall, noted Swedish daddy long neck. Have you seen Pierre Engvall?
I have.
He has a very long neck, and he is also daddy. So he has been playing center recently. This is news because he's been a winger. And I've liked him as a winger. Usually the transition to center doesn't go well. And the Marlies over the years, because the Leafs organization hasn't had that many centers, they've had to use wingers in the middle, and it's been bad. I think like Colin Greening had to play like almost an entire season at center. It wasn't great. So he's been playing center, and he's been succeeding. Nazem Kadri goes down. Do the Leafs maybe call up Engvall? I think that's the wrong move.
Yeah.
They already got Ennis. The current roster that plays every night already has too many centers. You could have Lindholm play third center. You could have... I'd rather play Goat third line center then call up Engvall. Oh, and I really don't want to do that. You could have Marleau be third line center.
That'd be my pick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because here's what I think the lines could be, and this is sexy as hell. Kapanen, Matthews, Nylander. Hyman, Tavares, Marner. Third line of Johnsson, Marleau. I'm missing someone.
Brown.
Yeah. Could do that.
Yeah.
So anyway, there are options.
Yeah, that'd be a lot better than calling up a guy who just started playing center.
Well, and like, what if he succeeds? What if it works?
Yeah.
What if, you found the diamond in the rough? You found the winger who, late in his career, or late in the process, I guess, becomes a center, and he's good at it. Mm-hmm. Could be great. Could immediately replace, Pierre Lindholm next season, make the roster. He's 6'5" every shift he plays, or as Jesse calls him, short. Could be great. I just don't think he should make the roster. What was the other thing?
Question off of that. Whatever happened to Nylander being a center? Have we completely abandoned that idea?
I think Babcock has.
For good reason? Or because he's stubborn, as you called him on Twitter last night?
I fully endorse what grumpy late night Steve said, which is Babcock is stubborn.
Sure.
He's enormously stubborn.
Is he stubborn with the correct ideas?
When Tavares was signed, we sort of closed the door on Nylander becoming a full-time center with the Leafs.
Because
it's just not necessary.
Yeah, we don't want Nylander playing fourth-line center. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, if another team trades for Nylander and they make him center, I wouldn't be shocked in the least. Mm-hmm. But it's good to have that option, right?
Sure.
Maybe it's not a guy you want playing 82 games, but, 5 in a pinch. And because of other guys you have in the roster, you don't even have to.
But it's never been an option.
What do you mean?
Nylander playing center. Like, it's never been an option.
It's very sparing.
For,
very rare.
A bit in the second year?
Yeah, it's... I don't... Babcock doesn't trust him.
All right.
Doesn't it? Well, and so many of the criticisms I have of Nylander, I would say for Matthews. And I love Matthews, but young player, misses assignments, stuff like that. I don't know. But it's just not a conversation that usually needs to be had. Now that Kadri's hurt, it does, but you could just throw in Marleau there.
Yeah.
He's played more games at center than Nylander has on the wing.
Nylander's played his entire career, yeah.
Yeah, Marleau played more games at center than Nylander has on the wing, before Y2K.
Yeah.
He's been there for a little bit. So there was that. I can't remember what else he said about the Marlies. And what was the other thing we were going to talk about? Oh my God, Adam really is the glue that holds this show together.
Yeah, because I don't have his notes.
You ever realize that?
No, I try not to think about it.
No? You ever think about what you would do after the apocalypse? Once society breaks down, I often think about how I have nothing to offer. If I can't be the guy who tells stories at the campfire, I got nothing.
See, you're estimating yourself, because I don't think many people know this, but you have terrific upper body strength. You have
thank you.
Awesome dad strength.
Yeah. I opened Adam's Gatorade.
Yeah. How many push-ups could you do consecutively?
I haven't done them for a little bit because I've been rehabbing my back, but I got up to over 100.
In prime Steve.
Which was I'm getting back there.
Which was a year ago.
Yeah, I'm going to get back there.
A year ago.
I'm already building back up.
100 push-ups consecutively is damn impressive.
So I could lift logs and stuff.
Yeah.
And then throw up my back and be out of commission and probably get eaten by wolves.
No, I think in post-apocalyptic, Walking Dead world, they'd look at you and they'd say, there's a man who could lift some logs.
Okay.
That YouTuber is more valuable than we think.
Okay. Now, SL watched A Quiet Place the other day. Have you seen A Quiet Place?
People shouldn't watch A Quiet Place.
First of all, they should. You're right. Second of all, I always think about how fast I'd be dead.
The no talking rule?
A Loud Place. That's my movie. That's my sequel. Yeah. No, I'd be dead.
Are you going to watch Game of Thrones?
Yeah, at some point, I'm sure. When I'm 40.
Not, because the last season's coming up. April 4th, I think. No, that's our event. April 14th.
So I can watch it start to finish? Consecutively?
Yeah, but
I'll have a
come
breakdown.
April 14th, everybody is going to be talking about Game of Thrones once a week. Well, it airs on the Sunday. All Monday is going to be Game of Thrones talk.
Okay.
You're not going to be able to avoid the spoilers.
How many episodes of Game of Thrones are there?
It's 7 seasons.
Yeah.
This will be season 8. There's 10 episodes, 70 episodes.
There's 70 hours.
Roughly.
To catch up on.
I think there's a couple 90-minute episodes in there. There's a couple movie. That's a movie, right? 90-minute episode. Because there's no commercials. It's HBO.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it might be 8 some seasons. The first season might be 8. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it's 10 each season. So 70 episodes.
So it's
roughly,
somewhere between 70 and 75
hours ish, 70 to 80 hours.
That's like 3 days.
But you have from February 20th to April 14th.
But I'd have to like concentrate and force myself to do it.
No, because like take all the time you watch Harry Potter. Take all the time you listen to Harry Potter. Take all the time you watch videos of Matthews scoring every goal in 2015.
So good. Sportsnet uploaded a video of all his first 100 goals.
See, you don't need to watch
that. It's so good.
Take that hour and watch an episode of Game of Thrones every now and again.
But doesn't it seem better to watch hockey things for me?
Yeah.
Just because like it's entertainment and also I need it.
You have to do this before April 14th. You're just running out of time.
I don't know about that.
So, yes.
Maybe.
Think about it.
I'll think about it.
Think about it.
For sure. You want to talk about John Tortorella talking about Artemi Panarin pooping himself?
Yeah, so what happened there?
Okay. So, Torts is in front of the media, and you see him winding up. There's this snowball effect with him, and he gets the media chuckling a little bit because they're like, so is Panarin actually sick? And he gets them chuckling.
Yeah.
And Tortorella, he just can't help himself. And he's like, he's been puking all day, he's shitting his pants. He's sick.
And he says the word shit in his pants?
Shit in his pants.
That's awesome.
And this is my new favorite thing about like the sports reporting world. Yeah. Reporters are finally starting to tweet just shit. If the guy says shit, they say shit. I respect Sean Shapiro so much for saying fucking horse shit when it came to the Seguin.
Yeah.
But buried in all that, so that's the sexy headline. Is it's about Panarin, and he talks about shitting his pants. What's better than that? I'll tell you what's better than that. Him putting Anthony Duclair in the lineup last night, and an hour before he puts this player in a National Hockey League game, he says he can't play.
I did see that. Yeah.
What kind of... Come on. Like, I know he's a hard-ass coach.
Yeah.
Jason York said he heard players like playing for him. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see if it pays off.
And, like, last game, wasn't it he scratched Anthony Duclair because he couldn't listen? Was that what
so
it was?
he's hammering him.
Yeah. But at what point does it become... Is it Duclair? Because this is the second time he's been in a little bit of trouble. Because wasn't he?
Well, he's on like his 9th team as well. Yeah, so he's in the whose fault is it actually territory.
But it's two guys who are just can't help themselves.
It could be they could be made for each other. That's a really good take. That's a good take on it. They might deserve each other.
Yeah.
Here, wait, there was a really good tweet last night. I got to look it up.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a guy who has so much skill. He made the NHL too soon. Way too soon.
Yeah.
He was still junior eligible when the Rangers had him on the roster. And he was like halfway through a good rookie campaign and they traded him.
I'll always remember him as the guy you can pick up in NHL. I think it's 17.
Who's got ridiculous...
Whose potential is like a 99. And you pick him up and he's like a 78 when you start. And then you sign him for like super cheap entry level. And then like 3 years, all of a sudden he's this league star. Because that's what he was projected to be.
He's Patrik O'Sullivan.
Patrik O'Sullivan of NHL 17.
And Dan Blackburn. Really good tweet from Kevin Papetti. Toronto's 2019-20 version of Tyler Ennis, Anthony Duclair. It's true. He'll be available for dirt cheap. Throw him on the fourth line. Maybe he'll score you some goals. Who knows?
I wanted to rush through all the things since Adam's not here. All the things I had to bring up.
I don't know. He left.
Which is one thing.
F him!
Before he comes back. When the Muzzin trade happened, I mentioned this before the podcast.
I'm curious as to...
There's a thing that happened.
Okay, what's that?
Spittin' Chicklets shouted you out.
That's right.
Yes.
And I got tweets for like 3 days.
Oh, okay, so you know this happened. People tweeted you about it.
Yeah, I was glad.
Yeah.
I was glad. Well, not just to get a shout out from Spit and Chicklets, but I thought Ryan Whitney didn't like me.
Really?
Yeah. Well, because it was, okay, you know what it was? The night before my first Easter Seals tournament, the Leafs played the Kings, and I was up all night because I forgot, or no, not I forgot, I didn't realize the games were the upcoming morning. I thought they were at night. Remember that whole stupid thing?
Yeah.
Because I'm an idiot and I thought there was a game at 1 in the morning for a children's charity. Idiot. So I was already exhausted. And the end of the Leafs game against the Kings was a little bit heated. The Leafs were down 5-0. Matthews scored on a penalty shot. The Leafs crawled back. They made a game of it. It was 5-3 and they were crazy pressure the final 5 minutes. At the end of the game, Quick gets in Zach Hyman's face and goes yeah, and screams in his face. And I'm like, are you screaming in his face that you didn't cough up a 5-goal lead? Is that seriously what you're hyped about? And then Whitney kind of went back at me because
On Twitter.
Because you're a biased fan or whatever. I can't remember exactly what he said. And I'm like, where did this come from? I was trying to figure it out. I'm like, I don't understand. Why is he? Did he ever play with it? He was on Team USA with him, I think.
That's his buddy.
Yeah.
And you're going at him.
And so I was like, oh shit, I don't think Whitney likes me very much. And then to hear him give that shout out, I was like,
He said whenever there's
at least he didn't call me a goof. Oh, he could have called me a goof.
Whenever there's Leafs news, he checks on what Steve Dangle's doing, is what he said.
I think he might have been a bit sarcastic. I don't know.
No, and he said if Steve Dangle was happy with the trade, and that's kind of the pulse of Leafs Nation.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
It's also wrong.
No,
it's not a very good barometer, Mr. Whitney.
He said it, and I listened to it, and I was like, that's so true. You speak for a majority of the fans because you sway a lot of their opinions with your videos and your tweets.
Which is dangerous. And which is why I need to be careful with my salty tweets at 1 in the morning.
Which is why you can't just be yelling that Babcock is stubborn and dumb.
It's dumb. I've toned down the yelling a little bit the past couple of videos, which is something for me. Toned it down. It's not gone. We got breaking news there, Jesse.
No, let's save it for when Adam comes back.
Yeah?
Yeah,
it's literally nothing.
Oh, what is it?
It's from an incident I didn't even know happened. Philadelphia's Robert Haig has been fined $3,091.40, the maximum allowable under the CBA, for interference on Tampa Bay's Cedric Paquette. That is nothing. That is pretty close to nothing.
Let's do, since I don't have any of Adam's notes in front of me, so I don't know what topics he wanted to talk about, and I don't want to do all the hockey topics just in case he comes back.
Okay.
We have to rehash them.
Okay.
Let's do an extendo middle of the show press conference.
I like that.
I'm going to scroll through our Reddit page in the press conference thread and ask you these questions.
That's part of the reason the videos are so long now, by the way. Is because I do questions at the end of every video now.
This was our most upvoted question on the Feb 17 press conference thread, so I went back a little.
It's probably bad.
It's a little cheeky. How badly did you want to eat Braden McNabb's ass when he smiled after he hurt our boy Andreas Janssen?
Eat?
It said eat.
I think you might have missed a letter there, friend. Please play again. Braden McNabb. I was in the building, speaking of the Owen Sound attack, who I mentioned earlier. I was in the building when he ended Joey Hishin's career. And I know that was in junior, but Braden McNabb is a dirty player. And we just don't talk about him very much because he plays for Vegas. And he played for the McEichel Sabres, so we didn't care about him then either. You know what? It's such a shame that the Leafs have lost their last 2 games because that was such an emotional win. And it felt like it was revenge. It felt like it was for Janssen. And Leaf fans were in the building and they were fired up. The Vegas fans were fired up because they wanted to win. The players were fired up because they know they're prime time. But just Matthews' reaction to scoring, the back and forth of it all, the fact that they pulled away and stepped on the throat at the end, they had the killer instinct. Oh God, it was such a good game. It's such a shame that they followed it up with 2 losses because it really felt like vengeance for Yanni. And also, it's good that Janssen's back already. Gives me hope for Kadri, but no 2 concussions are the same, right?
Shout out Desjar Dave, who wrote a reply to
Dejar Dave.
Desjar Dave, who wrote the reply to that question that said, I have voted simply because I want Jesse to read it as written, which I did. You are welcome. No one will be eating Braden McNabb's ass. Hopefully. Maybe. If he's into that.
I mean, you know.
This is from Tybot1. Is Steve short for Steven with a E-V-E-N or Steven with an S-T-E-P-H-E-N?
No, I'm biblical with a V. Vin. Steven. I'm Steven. I'm legally Steven.
Here's something.
When I'm in trouble, I'm Steven.
Here's something that I think we were going to get to, but Adam's not here. Y. Wilson writes, do you think Don Cherry gets too much of a pass for being the old guy in regards to taking issue with the Hurricane celebrations? So Saturday night, Don Cherry goes on.
He gets a pass? Who has seen the reaction to the past few days and thought he gets a pass?
This is the follow-up. This is what Y. Wilson continues to say. Both on the podcast, Twitter, and other places, he seems to get a pass simply because he is entertaining. But aren't his actions one of the very things that influence the lack of hockey's ability to grow and be more entertaining off the ice? And I would disagree that he gets a pass.
Especially on this show.
Yeah. Especially here. Yeah.
No.
Like
I almost cried one episode because of Don Cherry, because I'm a child. No, and I think, hasn't this been the perfect outcome? The Hurricanes have made it into a thing.
Yeah.
Like, okay, people have been ripping on them all year, but there's something about a slogan. They needed a slogan. They need a rallying cry, and Don Cherry provided it for them. Bunch of jerks. Did you see the girl in the Zamboni last night?
For anybody who doesn't know, for context, on Saturday night, Don Cherry went on Coach's Corner and yelled about the Hurricanes celebrating after each win. So after every win, I'm sure if you're a hockey fan, you know the Hurricanes do their little celebration on, what was it, I guess the Friday game or like the Thursday game?
Yeah, something like that.
They got even more creative when they did the Joey Bats flip. They did a fake on the ice.
Which was great.
I forget who was doing
Warren
pitching.
Fogle.
Warren Fogle was pitching.
I don't know who the pitcher was. Fogle was the one who hit.
Who did the bat flip, and they faked the bat flip, and they ran around the center ice. He touched all the bases, and it was awesome.
Throw,
yeah. He did the glove throw, and then, So then Don Cherry goes on Saturday night, Coach's Corner, and he calls them a bunch of jerks. Calls it absolutely disrespectful to hockey that they're doing this.
Boo.
And then the reaction on Saturday was pretty much universally against Don Cherry.
On Twitter.
At least, yeah.
I'm sure there's legions of old dudes who aren't as... They're a little Twitter averse.
There's a bunch of people yelling at their TVs saying he's correct.
Stupid!
Yeah.
Yeah, but the whole thing is, fans in Carolina don't seem to think it's stupid.
No!
Right? As long as they like it. It's like a jersey. There's plenty of jerseys around the NHL where unless you're a fan of the team, you think it's horrendous. You think it's really stupid looking. But all the fan base has to do is like it. That's really all that matters. So the fans in Carolina love it. And now they have a rallying cry. The Hurricanes sent me a DM yesterday asking for my shirt size. I'm going to get a bunch of
Hurricanes Twitter account?
Yeah.
Can you get me a shirt?
Yeah, I'll ask for an XL.
Nice.
As well. Or a skinny medium.
Yeah. But it'd have to be long, so I get the XLs.
Is getting clothes for you impossible?
It's the worst thing in the world.
Okay.
I can't wear regular pants. They need to be extra long pants. And I wear my clothes extra baggy because I am a skinny dude.
Right.
But the smaller clothes don't go long enough. Aren't the right length. So I have to get the bigger clothes so they're the right length, but they're too baggy on me.
I find
it's difficult being tall and slender.
It's difficult being able to eat your body weight and junk and have no consequence.
It's really difficult.
Damn it.
My life is hard.
Yeah, I believe you. I find shirts are never the right length in the torso. Also, I have wide feet, so shoe shopping is really difficult. Also, brands, every size is different from shoe brand to shoe brand.
Oh, yeah.
That pisses me off.
This is from back to the press conference. Weird Viper. Trivia. Marner has scored a goal against all but 2 NHL teams. Name the 2.
Marner?
Yeah.
I thought it was Matthews.
2. No, Marner now. We did Matthews before, didn't we? Now we got Marner, scored a goal against all but 2 NHL teams.
I could have swore the stat was Matthews. Marner, that's confusing because he's not a goal scorer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he scored against Vegas. Did he score against... No. LA?
Yep. He has scored against LA.
Damn. Is this like a 3? Is this like Hangman? How many wrongs do I get?
You get 3 wrongs.
Okay.
And 2 hints. The hints can be, they can't be like which division, but I can answer yes or no. 2 hints, 3 wrongs.
Can I do
now.
conference?
Sure. But I can only answer yes or no.
Are they both Western Conference teams?
No.
Really?
You got 1 more hint and 3 more guesses.
I don't think it's going to be someone dumb. Marner hasn't scored against the Lightning.
You have 2 more incorrect. That is wrong.
Damn it. Marner hasn't scored against the Stars.
You have 1 more incorrect.
Marner hasn't scored against the...
You have 1 more hint. Use a hint before you use your guess. Use your hint.
Canadian. Or either team's Canadian.
Are either teams?
Yeah, sorry, that was a terrible worded question. Are one or both of the teams Canadian?
Yes.
Calgary.
That was your 3rd wrong.
Damn it! Who we got?
You narrowed it down to 60. The Oilers and Canadians.
Oh! He
Yeah.
hasn't scored against...
Yeah, isn't that strange?
That is strange. Especially
All the
the
other
Canadians in the
teams.
division, too.
Yeah.
And they've killed them a few times.
Yeah, it's very strange. Anyway, that was a fun stat.
Actually, when was the last time the Habs beat the Leafs? The Leafs had a streak of like 22 straight losses against the Habs. And now I want to say it's like 8 straight.
This is from DRG2. If Tampa gets eliminated in the playoffs, are they the new Capitals?
Oh my God. What? Like, poised to win a Stanley Cup? Like, that's not even a good comparison, right? Because the Capitals won.
Yeah.
They finally won.
Well,
I know what you mean.
They're the Caps before the Cup.
Yeah, but the Sharks are still that.
Oh, the Sharks.
You know what I mean? The Sharks or like...
Oh, yeah.
The Sharks or Blues.
Yeah. So it's
Like,
not that
always in there, but
the
they never make
Lightning
it.
aren't the new Caps, is that there are already other teams that are where the Caps
They're still
were.
that. They never weren't that. They never got the redemption story. The Sharks sort of get a pass because they made the final a few years ago. They still lost, but I don't know. At that point, it's final 2. Can't really hold anything against them. You know what? Yes. Because the thing about the Caps, the year the Leafs played them, is they were so cartoonishly better than everyone else that they couldn't lose. And then they got Shattenkirk. Like, they were far and away the best team, and then they got Shattenkirk. So
And then they lost.
And then they lost.
That's the
In the
thing.
second
They
round.
lost. Yeah.
So the idea... They got shut out in Game 7 of the second round.
Oh.
So the idea that Tampa could add to the monster they currently have. Last night, they scratched Braden Point to make a point because he was late for a meeting, and they still murdered their opponent. They might play in the first round. They might play Columbus in the first round, intentionally scratch Braden Point, still killed them.
Did you see that stat that someone sent us about how Point would, in his last 15 games, he would be the 6th leading scorer on the Oilers for the entire season?
No, it's Kucherov, I think.
Oh, it's Kucherov?
Yeah,
Okay.
and he's been so cartoony.
Yeah.
Yes, so yes,
It's
they
been
would
dumb.
be the former Caps. They would be the OG Caps because they can't lose. They can't lose. Can you imagine this team losing 4 of 7?
It's gonna... every year you say this, and then the best team usually doesn't win the Stanley Cup.
And it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're just there's no weakness. Their offense is even more lethal than it was before. Their defense is solid. Their goaltending...
They have 2 goalies who are decent.
Louis Domingue's stats haven't been great this season, and then he makes that crazy pad stat save, and his record's ridiculous. But Vasilevsky has series-stealing skill, and he's on a team that doesn't need it.
No.
I don't see how they lose.
This is from Ollie2120. As a Blackhawks fan, can I trust this? Like, I want to be happy, but, like, can this keep going?
So there are...
Greetings from Sweden.
Hey!
There you go.
Adam Mcquiad for your message. The Blackhawks are one of 4 or 5 teams tied with 59 points. And to make the final wild card spot, I think you need 60 right now. And they're the hottest team of the bunch. Mm-hmm. They're like 8-2 in their last 10, something like that. Yes, you can trust this, I think.
They started so poorly.
They started really, really... They couldn't get a damn save.
No.
They couldn't get a damn save. Now that they get one every now and then... Did you see that carnival against Ottawa? 8-7.
Oh, yeah, it was like 5-4 after 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was 5-4 after
It was
1.
disgusting.
It was a World Junior special. All 4 goalies played.
I know that. I was especially watching that game because I had Colin D'Elia in my fantasy lineup.
Oh, of
Poor
all the players
decision.
in that game to have.
Poor decision.
Oh, Jesse. Did he start or end that game?
I think he was the starter,
Oh,
if I remember
no.
correctly. Yeah.
No one did well.
Wasn't nice.
No one did well.
His save percentage was down around 69. Wasn't nice.
Not nice. I have something for you.
The Blackhawks sit, by the way, in a 3-way tie for the
it's 3-way.
1 point out of the wild card spot. So Colorado, Arizona, and Chicago, and 4-way tie, and Vancouver all have 59 points, and the last wild card spot is held by Minnesota at 60 points.
And Minnesota has been... they have 1 win in their last 10.
1-6-3.
Do you see Paul Fenton's quote?
No. What is that?
He was asked about the last month. He's like, I haven't been sleeping and I've been crying like a baby.
Oh, gosh.
Or something like that. Yeah. And this guy got hired like a month ago.
Yeah.
Like, Paul, way to go. I don't know if that's the quote I would go with.
What are we going to bring up?
This from the stat man, Stan Narodka. So I looked this up the other day. He confirmed it. Patrik Laine. His first 12 games. Remember he started real slow? Mm-hmm. 3 goals.
I was making a bunch of excuses for him, trying to justify it.
3 goals. So he's averaging a quarter of a goal a game. Next 12 games. This starts with the 13th game of the season is the Jets' first game in Finland.
Mm-hmm.
Next 12 games, 18 goals. Not points, goals.
In 12 games.
In 12 games.
Ridiculous.
One of them was a 5-goal game, remember.
Yes.
So he scored more goals in one game than he did in his first 12. His last 35 games, 4 goals. He had more goals in the 5-goal game than he has in his past 35. What the hell's up with this player? To me, it's the most under-talked about thing in the sport. You can't possibly sign that guy to an 8-year deal. No. You can't possibly sign him to double digits. The Jets are going to bridge deal this guy. And he's either going to peter out and be a bum or sign like a $15 million contract in 3 years. Because his first 2 years suggest he's this guy. He's the guy in the middle. Mm-hmm. He's 18 goals in 12 games guy. This... What's 35 plus 12? God, I'm stupid. In 47 games, 7 goals? That's not even Josh Levo. Levo's been better since he went to the... Pull up Josh Levo's stats since joining the Canucks.
All right.
Who would you rather have? And these guys hate each other for some reason. Remember that?
Yeah, does that go back to the Fortnite thing?
Levo and Laine? No.
No?
No, they hated each other with the Leafs. Which I never
Josh
understood.
Levo with the Canucks, 7 goals, 5 assists.
In how many games?
28.
So he's killing Laine. Oh my God. I don't understand.
Is it just like a sophomore slump kind of thing?
In his 3rd year?
Yeah, I mean, like, there's an evolution to getting into the league. Most players aren't matured by this point. He definitely isn't in his prime. There's still room to grow.
There's so much room to grow.
And this is just how most journeys are not linear. Most journeys are up and down and hilly.
You're absolutely right.
And is this just a dip, or is it a larger problem where we think that Laine isn't actually the player that we think he is? Because he has a great shot. Like, we can never
He's got the touch of death.
He has one of the best shots in the league right now when it's on. Clearly that 5-goal game shows that. But is he not the player we thought he was?
It's a great example in stories not being linear because it was so good.
Yeah.
Right before he busted out of his slump, Paul Maurice was telling a story like, I was watching him at practice, and he was wailing on the puck and whiffing on the puck, and it wasn't going to where he wanted, and he was freaking out. He was getting mad. He was overreacting. And Paul Maurice is like, should I go over there and say something? And then his next 10 shots in a row, just bink, 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 bar down, bar down, bar down, bar down. He was a monster. And then, Paul Maurice, gives his little thing, and then he goes to Finland, and he's a monster. And he has a hat trick in Finland, and shortly after he has that 5-goal game. It's such a great story. Just when I was going to say something, he goes and scores the world's supply of goals. But now the slump he's on is worse than the one before it. He's throwing in an assist here and there. I don't think he has a point in 5 games.
Everyone can get an assist here. I'm sure if you're on the ice for long enough,
games? Oh, yeah.
you'll get a couple assists.
Goes
just
off
because it'll hit your stick, hit your skate, It's
by
good.
accident.
There's a secondary assist. Anybody can get one. But that's crazy. And nobody's really talking about it because the Jets are so good. You don't need to talk about these things when your team is winning. They don't matter. If the Jets were struggling right now, you're not thinking about trading Laine, but it's a storyline about how can you keep this guy in the lineup? Is there something you need to do?
So something funny happened to me the other night. This is an example of late night tweeting that was actually very good. So Bruce Garriock was he covers the Sens, and he was talking about Winnipeg is interested in Duchesne, Stone, and Dangle.
Yes.
And I misinterpreted that tweet to be they're interested in getting all 3. And the second I saw that, I go, they're not actually going to do what I think they're going to do. Are the Jets seriously going to... And that's interesting. Do you sacrifice a franchise winger, a potential franchise winger, for a top line on any team?
If it's...
The Jets, they win the cup.
Right now?
They win the cup. Would you trade Patrik Laine for a guaranteed cup?
Is that a guarantee? I don't think that's a guaranteed cup.
Yeah, well, because Tampa is a big bunch of jerks.
Hi.
Adam Mcquiad is walking back into the room.
Oh, I'm good. Everything's good.
We went here, there, and everywhere, man.
Oh, man. Oh. Stuff and things.
All right, Adam,
Where are we?
If you were the Winnipeg Jets,
Okay.
would you trade Patrik Laine for Stone, Duchesne, and Dangle?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, why not? That's an entire line. Absolutely.
So then Bruce Garriock...
They would never do it.
No. He then had to send out a tweet that was like, listen, I don't mean all 3 at once.
Yeah,
and I go, boo.
Yeah.
And then he DM'd me. He's like, that was very funny. That made me laugh out loud.
He seems like a pretty even-keeled kind of guy.
Yeah, I've
Like,
only
very
met him
funny.
once. Only met him once. He was nice.
Yeah.
We were doing a press conference.
Oh, were we?
That's what we decided on.
Okay, good,
Yeah.
good. I'm sorry I got held up.
We were getting worried, man.
Oh man, so was I. So you just did a press conference, or we?
I just ran through. No, we just stopped in the middle and did
Talked about
Adam
all kinds
Mcquiad's
of
away press conference. That was the theme song. You missed the theme song? We came up with a theme song.
Seemed like a good theme song.
Adam Mcquiad's got a press conference at the middle of the show. That's music.
So, I have a question.
We'll let you know if we've already answered it.
Okay, did you talk about Jack Johnson?
No.
Oh, Kyle Dubas's love for Jack Johnson.
Yeah, Jack Johnson. That's the guy.
Is that how you had toughness? Jack
Well-
Johnson? That's what I was thinking.
You see, the problem with Jack Johnson is that he's never been given a fair chance.
Mm.
In 11 years of hockey, that guy was just never given a fair chance.
Is
at
that really?
hockey.
How long?
I think it's about that, yeah. I think he's our age, isn't he?
I think he's older.
Is he?
I think he is.
Jack Johnson?
I think so. Older or the same age? Because there were a couple Johnsons at the same time. There was Eric Johnson. Everyone remember him? Mm-hmm. First overall pick, Eric Johnson.
All right. This is fun. Jack Johnson, very common name.
Yep.
When I type in Jack Johnson into Google, who's the first Jack Johnson that
Oh,
pop up?
the guy, acoustic guy who did the Curious George movie.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know why I know that.
What? How did you know that? That's the guy.
What was his draft year?
The hockey, Jack Johnson?
Yes.
From the Pittsburgh Penguins?
Yes.
He's in 87. Drafted
so he's older.
2005.
Right, yeah, he was the Crosby
First round, third overall.
That's
By
right.
The Carolina Hurricanes.
The 1, 2, 3 was Crosby, Bobby Ryan, Jack Johnson.
Jim Rutherford, general manager of the Penguins, who may not make the playoffs.
They might just not. They'll have to surge ahead of Carolina.
In a conversation with The Athletic, Josh Yeo, I think that's how you pronounce his last name, Yeo?
I think it's Yohi.
Yoey, okay, sorry, Josh. I know we've met. We met him in Nashville. We were drinking with him in Nashville, were we not?
Oh, that's why I don't remember.
Because it was Pittsburgh and Nashville. Was it not? When we went to Nashville?
That's who was playing.
Yeah,
for
he
sure.
was there.
Yeah.
And I think he was working for the Post-Gazette at that point.
Was that the got to get up to get down night?
I think so.
Oh, that's right.
Was it every night that night?
Yeah, seriously.
Am I right, boys? Drinking.
Hey!
There was a lot of that going on, man. The general manager, in conversation with The Athletic, vehemently defended Johnson on a morning after the Penguins defeated the Devils 4-3, giving them 4 victories in their past 5 outings. That's great for them. He has never been given a chance here right from the start. And I don't understand it. It's been extremely unfair to him. Extremely. He's a good player. Johnson has a goal and 12 points in 59 games with the Penguins this season, the first of his 5-year deal, which I believe pays him $3 million a year. Is that right?
It's more than that.
Oh, is it?
Oh, it's more than that.
Jesse, you want to
wait till you get a load of this.
His advanced numbers have been poor, and this is Josh I'm quoting from. Advanced numbers have been poor, which has been a trend during much of his career. However, the Penguins love the physical element that Johnson brings to their lineup and are particularly happy with his penalty killing. Rutherford wishes fans and media would look at Johnson as with more of an open mind.
It's 3.25.
For how long?
5 years.
Until 2023.
I just figured out Johnson. Whoops. That's my leaf thing. I just figured him out.
You figured him out.
Wow.
Coaches love him. GMs love him. Hits. He's got the offensive tools. He's got all the tools. The numbers just don't like him. But what are the numbers if he's got the tools? He's American Zaitsev. He's American left-handed Zaitsev. Or I guess Zaitsev is Russian Johnson. That's what I figured it out. I absolutely understand why hockey people love Jack Johnson. I absolutely understand it. He's got the size, got a little bit of speed, he's got some offensive acumen, and he lays the occasional big hit. I understand why they like him. The numbers from day one of his career have hated his guts. They just have.
Rutherford goes on.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's doing fine. I think he's doing perfectly fine. You know, it started from the very first day with him. We signed him on July 1st, right from the start. In that first media scrum, the questions you guys were asking and the way people were reacting to the signing, I'll be honest, I was very surprised and very disappointed that a new player we signed would be asked the questions that he was asked on that day. That was the start of it. And I think it was completely unfair to Jack. He's doing fine for us. Johnson has been more effective in the past few games while playing on the left side, his natural side, with Justin Schultz.
Okay, fair.
Rutherford says they play good together. It's certainly been easier for Jack, and I think playing on his natural side. Remember, though, that Jack played well when Marcus Pettersson got here. They were very good together for a stretch, but he was put on the right side for lots of the season and put in some tough spots.
Okay. Has he been put into tough spots since he was like a Hurricane?
Is this... Now, I haven't followed the Penguins, admittedly, as closely as I follow, obviously, the
Pens
Leafs.
fans hate him.
Right.
Like, pretty much unanimously.
This signing was bad from the beginning, though. And everybody said, this is bad, and why are you doing this? This is bad. And what I don't understand here, at this point, the Penguins won last night. From Jim Rutherford's perspective, why is Jack Johnson the guy he's going off on today? Because this could have come, this article could have come from just an interview with Jim, and the most interesting part is Jim's comments on Jack Johnson. And actually, he chimed in on a couple other topics towards the end of the article. I won't blow them all because Josh did all this work and it's behind a paywall, and he deserves a little bit of money for that.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to get into that. But the point I'm trying to make here is that
A lot of people do that. Here's an entire Athletic article.
yeah, no, that's we want them to get their due. I believe in journalism. It's a good thing. I don't understand why he felt the need to go off that much.
I do. He's been reading. GMs are human, and they read, just like Jim Lights. He's higher up than a GM. Even presidents read. Here's the problem. I wish he did some of that reading over the past decade that was documenting why you shouldn't sign Jack Johnson to $17 million, was it? $17 million, was it? Over 4 years? It's just... I was trying to look it up on my phone. That's what I was trying to find. My introduction to hockey analytics, it was either Myrtle, who I actually found. I found a blog post from Myrtle from 2007.
Wow.
It was either Myrtle or Dello. Or it might have even, could have been Vic Ferrari. I can't remember. It was basically like, actually, Jack Johnson's bad. And I was like, what? All I've been told for the past 4 years or whatever it would have been at that point is Jack Johnson's great. Guy went 3rd overall. He was in that big trade to the Kings. Was it? I want to say it was him for Oleg Tverdovsky. Remember him?
Oh, wow. Whoa.
Yeah. He was my introduction. Yes, I know he can do this, he can do this, he can do this, but he's a bad possession player. Here's why. He was my introduction to analytics, and it's just amazing to me that all these years later, fans still don't like him, and GMs still love him. That's Jim Rutherford. You can't call Jim Rutherford a stupid guy.
No, he's not.
Remember when we tried to fire him? Wrong. We tried to fire him right before winning back-to-back Stanley Cups. Wrong. We were wrong. He's not a stupid guy. Won back-to-back cups. So what is it about this player that a GM who concocted a back-to-back Stanley Cup winning team, what is it about this player that he sees and we don't? What is it that we see and he doesn't? Who's right? I mean, based on this season, I think it's us. So I just... He's one of the most befuddling players in the entire NHL. And the Leafs are going to get him for a 4th.
No, they're not.
I know. But you had to go there. Well, no, sorry. We've made our way down to McQuaid. See, I would rather have McQuaid because he's expiring. Jesse sold me. Yeah, he was my introduction. I got to try to find that article and tweet it out. And be like, this is from 2007. Not good.
That's interesting.
Woo, woo, woo.
Okay. And do you feel like there's a general manager there who's maybe feeling a little bit insecure about the move he made?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean, I usually don't yell and scream about the things I'm confident in.
Oh, fair enough. Okay. Now, I want to just say this. Pittsburgh, after last night's win, even if they'd lost last night, they'd be, I believe, tied with Columbus.
Last night was a big win for them.
Game. It was a big win.
Because New Jersey always runs their show for some reason.
New Jersey's a good team sometimes.
Sometimes.
They run the Leaf show, too. Pittsburgh, 71 points. They are now 3rd in the Metro.
It's real tight.
2 points behind Washington, 5 behind the Islanders. They could win the division.
They could, but you know who's screwing everything up? Well, the Islanders by being in first. Columbus. They are in might not make it territory.
Now, I'm looking at the Atlantic Division. Because I'm always looking at the Atlantic Division.
It's so unfair.
So, Tampa, 96 points. Boston, 78. Toronto, 76.
Toronto with a game in hand.
Toronto with a game in hand.
So they could, and they own the tiebreaker. So if they win their next game,
and they have more
pass
wins anyway.
Boston.
They have more wins anyway.
Yes.
So,
Adam, I know you're looking at the standings. Leafs are 6-2-2 in their last 10. That's real good. That's a real good record. They're the 3rd hottest team in the Atlantic.
Wow. Yeah, it's true, isn't it?
Tampa and Boston are both 8-0-2.
Yeah.
It's so unfair.
So let's. I want to talk about a theory I'm playing with, but it is undeveloped, and I'm not even sure. It's a theory without proof. Okay.
Oh, my favorite kind.
But it's almost as bizarro weird as, when we talk about positionless players. Just throw the best 5 players out there, see what happens. Okay?
It's just so many years away from even being considered.
Oh my God.
But I love it.
And people think we're nuts.
Yep.
I have a theory that I cannot prove, but I have a feeling that I cannot prove, that finishing in the wild card in either is better than finishing third in your division.
Oh, just in general. You're not even talking about the Leafs here.
Well, for the Leafs, for sure it is. There's no question it is.
You think?
I think.
You think
in a lot of cases, there is no, and at very least, there's no difference.
The Leafs, I would argue, two most likely playoff opponents right now are Boston. Boston's all but guaranteed. Or if they falter a bit, the Islanders.
Yeah. I would say that finishing third in your division is the worst place to finish.
Why is that?
It's almost like finishing 17th in the league. You're not going to get a top 10 pick, but you're not good enough to make the playoffs.
Right.
And in this particular case, yes, you're in the playoffs. That's great. I have a lot more confidence in this Leafs team than I did in last year's team. I know that's hard to believe, but they are a better team this year without question than they were last year.
The standards have risen so much higher.
Our standards are astronomically high for this team. That's why
too high, one might say.
And also, you're looking at, we've had a tremendous amount of anxiety this season with the Nylander contract and the Matthews contract and now the Marner contract that we haven't actually had a chance to just see the team and enjoy the team. And I think next year is going to be a lot different. It's going to feel a lot different than this year. Once those contracts are done and the changes are done, and the pundits are not able to say, well, I don't know how they're going to keep it together. I got a pen and a paper and I don't know how. Which is what they do every day. They repeat the same line every day.
I got the pen and a paper.
Oh my God. You know what? It's like people who say, it's like all the rappers who have said that they're the best rapper on earth. Lil Wayne, Jay-Z, all these guys.
Fabulous.
And fabulous. They've all said it. Kanye said it too. It's really, there's only one guy that could be the best.
No, but
they've all said it. And all their fans will tell you that they're the best because if you keep repeating something, people will repeat it back to you.
Royce 5'9".
In this, corrupt.
Yes.
In this particular case.
You guys, the correct answer is Papoose.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's be real here.
Steve is the Papoose hipster, by the way.
Yeah.
Met him on a street in New York.
I remember that.
In 2005. He sold me a CD and called my friend racist. He did. Here's how it went. Buy my CD. No, I'm good. What, are you racist? So my friend bought a CD. To prove he's not racist.
Good sales tactic.
He made $10 that day.
Very predatory.
Well, 20, because I bought one too. So
I guess my question in all of this is, what are the benefits to finishing third in the division?
Sorry, I forgot about the Papoose story for a second. What are the benefits? Oh, well, you make the playoffs.
You make the playoffs. Okay.
You don't have to play the top team in a certain division.
One of the worst things about that third place position is that in the last 2 years, I believe in the Eastern Conference, in the Metro division or in the Atlantic Division, it has been a home spot. You should have home ice advantage in that spot. But because of the way the stupid standings are ordered now, where it's top 3, they don't have home ice advantage, even though that's a top 4 position in the conference.
Okay.
So it is literally the worst.
Fans of teams who aren't the Leafs, bear with me, because it's a tough position to be in. Jesse is clearly right that this playoff format sucks.
Yeah.
But it's also painfully obvious that it's hurt the Leafs. Twice now, coming up. Twice consecutively, it's going to hurt the Leafs. So we can't say anything and be taken seriously. Because, well, of course Leafs fans are complaining about it. Yeah, it hurts your team. But no, he's right, though. If you have the third most points in the conference,
or even fourth, you should have home ice advantage.
Yes, in the first round at very least.
The first round.
In the first round,
you don't even get that.
Don't even get it.
It's stupid. The NHL needs to fix their shit.
And like, you think of how close.
No, they're great.
Yeah. You think of how close the past 2 series the Leafs have played has been. Okay, they didn't deserve home ice against Washington.
No,
and they lost. Boston?
They didn't deserve to. Here's the thing.
The Leafs were a period away from beating them.
It's not that Boston didn't deserve home ice and the Leafs did. It's that the Leafs shouldn't have been playing Boston.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's the problem.
The matchup worked out to like a 3-4 matchup. Why is the 3-4 playing the first round?
Boston, who got their heads kicked in the second round,
didn't deserve to be playing Tampa.
No.
Not to the conference.
Should have had home ice in the second round because they shouldn't have been playing Tampa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Boston could have won the cup last year.
My contention.
They could have won 2 cups in the same year. Actually, man, the way it all worked out, they could have.
My contention is this.
How about this? Tampa should have won the cup last year because they should have been playing Boston in round 3.
Go ahead.
Also in the woulda, shoulda, coulda. What?
My contention is this.
I already threw my cup. I was going to throw it again.
Almost better if very least not different to finish third in your division than finish in the wild card. The only advantage to finishing third is that if you end up randomly somehow playing some hot shot team who squeaked in a wild card, you will have home ice advantage against them.
Oh, man. All the best teams in the West right now are like, St. Louis, keep going. Keep going. Yeah. Get a spot in the Central. Keep going. Yeah. They don't want any part of that. Does anyone want any part of the Blues at this moment?
No.
Hell no. No way. They haven't lost for 11 straight games. Imagine that. Winning 10-plus games and making the playoffs.
Imagine finishing top 3 in your division and there is no tangible benefit. How did they set this up? That there's no tangible benefit to finishing third in your division.
That's why it drives me nuts, this whole starting Freddie Anderson every bloody game. Dude, there's no benefit anyway. Like, at least rest the guy so he's good for the Bruins. It's just going to be the Bruins again. Drive me nuts. Remember how excited we were for a split second that it might be the Habs? And then the Bruins went on to win. They haven't lost in regulation for 10 games. It might be longer than that, but the stats only go back that far on the standings page. Maron. I hate this team.
And the Bruin fans still hate Tuukka Rask for some reason. I don't understand. They will never love Tuukka Rask.
I just want to thank God Almighty for giving you all so much and me so little, said the Bruins fans. Ugh. Just the worst.
By the way, Radko Gudas, 2-game suspension. He'll forfeit $81,000.
That's awful. That's really bad.
Isn't that insane that he only got 2 games for that? Again?
Well, but as a repeat offender.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
That's brutal. No, that's not acceptable. That's really bad. Whoever's about to acquire him is happy, I guess. Leafs? Oh, so...
well, Ian Tulloch actually just said, he's like, P.S., this hurts his trade value, right?
I agree.
I hope so.
It should.
I hope so.
It should.
Can you trade suspended players?
Yeah, I don't even know.
No, I don't think so.
I think you can.
No, because you can't trade a player who's on IR. So you can't trade a player.
This is very
but that's different because there's like a rehab element to that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Look that up. I think so. You know who would have the answer to that? That seems like the sort of thing John Shannon would tweet. Doesn't it?
Yeah, no, that's exactly John Shannon.
Random minutia. This is my time to shine.
By the way, I was almost in tears. I was watching Tim and Sid the other day, and they had John Shannon on, and they always play that old man dancing at the wedding.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, John, what's up today? You have fun at the wedding?
They really love messing with John Shannon. It's great.
And he gives it right back. He was like, I guess they were talking about the snowstorm, and he's like, hey, no one cares. No one cares how long you have to drive home today.
John Shannon does not care. What were we just talking about?
We were just talking about finishing third in the division and how there's no tangible benefit to it.
Before that, I'm trying to remember.
Gudas.
Oh, so I put my 1-0 record on the line today. Did you see that?
Yeah, but it was a Leaf trade, right?
Yeah. Yes. So that is the key here. I think there's going to be a Leaf trade today. By the time you listen to this podcast, I think there's going to be a Leaf trade.
Why do you think that?
That's so aggressive.
It is so aggressive. It could be tomorrow. I think it'll be today.
You did explain this to me, and we're going to wrap up the show here soon. So you explain this to me.
The Leafs are home for 4 straight games, and I think there's 3 games before the deadline.
Okay.
I think is how it works, and the Leafs play on the deadline. Am I right in saying that?
They play Monday?
Yeah.
Leafs schedule.
Okay, so they got a Thursday game, they got a Saturday game, and then they got Monday.
They play the Monday the 25th.
They play on the trade deadline, and they're at home. I think they should make a trade today because it makes a lot of sense. It'd be very convenient for them. If you're going to make a trade, don't make it Monday. Don't make it Monday. And then their first game, that player's first game, if you make the trade Monday, is going to be on the second half of a back-to-back in John Tavares' return. Whee! What a fun little environment to join. You can do that. Mm-hmm. It's certainly possible. I just don't think it's very ideal. Also, I don't think enough has been made about how that sucks. I didn't realize that at the beginning of the season. Tavares' return to Long Island is going to be the second half of a back-to-back. Boo. Boo, I say. Leafs are going to get killed. And it's going to suck a lot. And Islanders fans are going to be yucking it up. And you know what we're going to be yelling about? Garrett Sparks. Can't wait.
If the Leafs do make a trade, what does it look like? Like, what do they get? What are they going for?
It looks nothing like anything that's been suggested. That's my theory. It's not going to be bloody McQuaid. It's not going to be... Well, it's obviously not anyone from the Blues. Any more Gudas? I mean, maybe, but didn't someone report that the Leafs aren't actually really interested in Gudas?
I've heard that. Yeah, I heard that reported.
Yeah.
One interesting thing is nobody who
saw the Muzzin trade coming?
Nobody did. Well, that's the funny part is that it was like, hey, that might be a good idea, but it was never linked. And when guys like Friedge and Chris Johnston, who tend to be the most reliable, Bob McKenzie, tend to be the most reliable, are silent on it, pretty good chance that there's not much going on. Even Pierre LeBrun, guy has not said a thing.
Yeah, and the Leafs are linked to everyone, though.
They're linked to.
So the
it doesn't mean anything, though.
It's not coming from within the Leafs organization.
There's about 4 guys that you should really watch. I just named them.
If you're the Rangers and you want to drive up the price on Adam McQuaid, you know what you do?
Tell people the Leafs are...
You say the biggest, strongest financial team is in on McQuaid. Hey, if you're the Philadelphia Flyers, you know what you do?
Suspend Radko Gudas.
Yeah. Hey, if you're the Blues, you know what you do? Hey, if you're any team with a red-handed... like, come on.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Like, the McQuaid stuff. But any NHL general manager with a brain would have to look at that and go, Kyle Dubas would never go after a guy like Adam McQuaid. That's not his type of player.
This might be arrogant. I think you're giving them too much credit. I don't think they have their finger on the pulse as well as you think they do.
Come on.
They're not smart, man. Think of the Jack Johnson quotes you just read.
GM's not smart. That's not the name of our show right there. Not smart.
Not smart. Jim Rutherford is the least dumb. Is that fair? Back-to-back cups, least dumb. Put that on a cup. Engrave it. Least dumb. Do you know what I'm saying?
You know,
they're all a little bit nuts.
Oh, yeah. You have to be.
Like, what is it about a coach's DNA that no matter how smart they are, they just wear Ron Hainsey cologne? Like, they just love it.
I don't like the fact that people are saying Mike Babcock's a bad coach.
I didn't say that.
No, I didn't say you said that.
He's a stubborn bastard.
But I am seeing people going, oh, yeah, he won gold medals with Canada's Olympic team. That must have been hard. Like, dude, come on.
You know what?
Do you remember what the Leafs were like before Mike Babcock got here? The culture change that he instilled? Fuck off with that. That's crazy.
You know, I think about, how much difference does a coach make really? You want an example of coaches making a huge difference? Go back, I know it's years ago, but 2010, Canada versus Russia in the semis. That was an example of a team that had... One team had a good coach, the other team did not. Canada won, by the way. Scored 7 goals.
So Russia had the good coach.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I mean, also Canada had a goalie, but...
That helps.
I think Russia had Brizgalov.
Ooh.
And I think their options that year were Brizgalov and Nabokov.
Oh, okay.
Times, they are changing.
They sure are.
Yeah.
Jesse, you look like you're about to say something. Am I incorrect?
No.
Was there a trade?
No, I just tweeted something.
Oh, great.
What did he tweet? Now I want to check.
Jesse, we talked about never tweet.
That's a good tweet, Jesse.
Oh, I didn't even see that Steve Dangle is the new Kevin Durant.
I like that, man. That's a Stephen A. Smith. Hey, we're going to leave it there. We're going to do another show by the end of the week, probably on Friday. We love you guys, and I want to quickly mention a little shout out to Ridge Wallets. They're back on partnering with us for the spring. If you want 10% off your Ridge wallet, they come in titanium, they come in aluminum, they come in carbon. Steve's got the aluminum. I believe Jesse got the titanium. I got the carbon one. Stuff basically that they make your hockey sticks out of. These, how great are these?
Real,
they're amazing.
Like, they're actually great.
No, they're actually great.
It's svelte.
Because here's the thing,
I'm say, nice
Steve's
and tiny.
wallet was your Italian grandfather's wallet. He had every
matter with that?
Every card he's ever had in that wallet, and it was falling apart to the point where the leather was so frayed it had turned white.
And every receipt.
Every
Yes,
receipt.
it's true.
And the thing is, what this does is it just kind of, oh, look, I can only carry this much, so I only will. You carry the cards you need, you're more organized, and you look sharper. And here's the thing, you drop one of these things, they don't chip, they've got lifetime warranties, 10% off, use the code SDP.
Mine doesn't even have a scratch on it. And it should.
It should.
It really ought
That's
to.
the thing.
Hey. Guy Boucher says Duchesne is playing tomorrow until I'm told otherwise.
Yeah, he's not playing tomorrow.
No, he's going to because coaches are out of their mind.
No, they'll scratch him.
What?
Who?
The general manager will say,
If he's on the roster, the coach can do whatever he wants.
He's not playing tomorrow. This is so Ottawa. What a dumb quote.
You don't think he's playing tomorrow?
Why would they scratch him and then play him?
I think he's playing.
I think he's playing too.
Get the fuck out of here.
He just
Why
said
would
he's
they do that?
I
playing.
think he's playing.
The coach just
You know
said he's
what?
playing. What's wrong?
Watch. He'll have some stupid injury and then they won't be able to trade him.
I think he's playing.
You sit those players before the trade deadline. What are you doing, Ottawa?
I think. What are they doing? They're being Ottawa. There was a here. We got to end. We got to end on this.
We didn't talk about this while you were gone, by the way.
What?
We didn't get to the Ottawa news.
Well, here's the thing. Stone has not... remember Ottawa's deadline was last Wednesday and now it's this Wednesday and we still don't know?
So Travis Yost
Okay.
today tweets. So if Mark Stone does say no thanks, Ottawa has 5 days to trade 3 top 6 forwards? They must have some trade ideas / plans by now in the event he declines.
I would
And
hope.
Bonk's mullet 4 hours ago replied, ha 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 ha, and then an hour later tweeted, ha ha ha. Yeah, they're out of their minds, and I love it.
Here's the thing.
And Friday's going to be a fun show.
You set
the
the
next week's gonna
deadline
be a very fun
a month before. If they haven't committed you by then, then they're not committing. And even if they maybe would have, could have, maybe, possibly a day before the deadline, you trade them anyway. Why? You need people who are like, yep, I want to be here. I want to be here. Does Ottawa need those players that badly? I don't think so. They'll come back. They got some young players. And guess what?
Thomas Chabot's so good.
Yeah. Guess who's going to be the captain? Chabot.
I think so.
Or Brian 5 or 6. One of the two.
Probably Brian.
Probably Brian.
Probably Brian.
Just to bridge the gap, so Batcho can grow up a little bit.
But they have a moving deadline. It just every day it's just the new deadline.
This is the thing.
See, I'm never late for the show, guys.
Ottawa lets
It's just a moving beginning of the show.
Ottawa lets life happen to it instead of it happening to Ottawa. They react, which is the worst position you could put yourself in. You hold the cards. I will tell you when your deadline is. Oh, you haven't gotten back to me? See you later.
We're
Bye.
in for a wild weekend.
Oh my God, it's just painful.
I'm going to be part of Sportsnet's trade deadline coverage.
Oh yeah, what are you
Just
doing?
thought I would say. I think I'm going to be on about once an hour from the Dangle desk in the ice surfing studio.
based on how many trades we actually get trade deadline day, you might be on once a segment, my friend.
So
Yeah.
Radek Dvorak
Here we're gonna go.
came out of retirement and got
We're
traded for a 7th again.
So now we're gonna go to the Situation Room where old guys talk about old guys stuff. Tell us some old guy stories, old guys.
Well, so we're in hour 4 of coverage, no trades yet. So we're going to go back in time and revisit the Jonas Enroth trade to Anaheim.
Deadline
wait.
day is always a disappointment.
No, shut up. It's going to be great.
Not
And
with Steve
watch it
Dangle.
all on
Not-
Sportsnet.
not-
Rogers.
Not that.
Not with
Rogers
Steve
Sports. I
Dangle.
want to yell this so loud. What?
You know what you guys need to do?
Buy a Rogers phone.
You need skits on deadline day is what you need.
Yeah, we do. You want me to provide that? I can provide that. You want me to do it?
Maybe we have some skits.
You want if I have some sketches?
Skits. You know, I like bits.
Do you like bits?
Yeah. you
Hockey
know.
ones though
Yeah.
that involved hockey things.
Hockey bits.
I'm going to poop in your freezer.
Too bad this wasn't on CBC. You could just replay Letterkenny every 10 minutes.
That's on Crave, man. That's not even on CBC.
Oh. No.
When Calls the Heart, though.
They air Letterkenny a couple of times on
Do
CBC.
they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought that was a Crave.
Is it only
film.
Crave?
I'm pretty sure it's Crave.
I think our show's done.
No, but you can't. What about Murdoch Mysteries and When Calls the Heart, Steve?
Fuck off, Shorzy.
Steve Dangle on the trade. You have finally made it to trade deadline. Congratulations. I'm very proud of you.
Yeah,
that's
that's
amazing.
It's pretty cool.
Also,
is
catch
amazing,
Letterkenny on Crave.
Yeah. Jared Kiso.
Who?
Shout out.
Who's a Crave created by what company?
It's just a ripoff of Show Me.
No.
We're going out on that.
All right.
Steve wins.
Smart enough.
Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Brought to you by Panago Pizza. Order at panago.com and stuff your face with deliciousness.